This is FFG Chronicles. This FFG Chronicles is about the alligators in the swamp of corruption in the video games needs to be drained. So let's call it Alligators in the Swamp is kind of what we'll probably title it. We've been getting this question for a long time. It's like, hey, what's your opinion of, the corruption in video games? What needs to be done to drain the swamp of video games? And, we first found out about this some years back. I didn't even realize this was a problem for probably the first, 5 to 8 years of doing family-friendly gaming. And then all of a sudden, we had heard some stories and we said, okay, it's interesting, different stories going on. But we hadn't actually experienced it ourselves. And we experienced it with a company and we were shocked that this is what's going on. And we started asking around and find out, oh yeah, this is commonplace. This happens in the video game industry all the time. And at this time, we were, speaking out against the corruption, and we wanted the corruption to be cleaned up in the video game industry. Then when President Trump came along and started talking about draining the swamp in D.C., we realized that there's a swamp in video games too, and this swamp needs to be drained as well. One of the things that we've been big supporters on is the physical copy movement, and we've had some companies really mad at us for that because they want to make more money, they want to make more profit. Because bear in mind, this is their perspective. Their perspective is they make all this money. So, and their also perspective is if they give us a game, for example, that they've done this huge favor for us. By giving us a game to review, they've done this amazing favor. Reality check is that's work for us to do. So they've sent us a work order request they haven't paid for. So imagine going to a restaurant, ordering some food, eating the food, and then trying to tell the restaurant that you did them a favor by eating the food, by asking them to cook you the food, right? So well, we asked you to cook the food, so we did you this amazing favor. And like I said, reality check, that's work for us to do. We've done the calculations. What they give us in a game is not worth the value. It's not even equal value to the work we do. So when it comes to a review, videos, none of that even comes close to what they gave us. A lot of times it's double or even triple that we do the amount of dollar value work we do compared to what they do. In fact, if you notice that on the bottom of our reviews in the last couple of years, when the FCC required that we state the company provided us a product, we put the value and cost of our work is greater than what we were given. So we want that reality to, in perspective, to be out there in the industry. So now we'll get into my opinion. Now, I've had a lot of people throw game name or company names at me, and I'll tell you whether my personal opinion is agree or disagree with you on this. So, Nintendo, I agree with you. I agree with you that they're an alligator. I really do. Sony, I agree with you. Microsoft, I agree with you. And you've probably noticed in some of our reviews we've talked about how these PR and marketing people fail us, and they fail family-friendly gaming universe. Well, what we mean by that is we have contacted them through email, we've called, we've left voice messages, and they are not professional enough to respond. Now, I'll give Sony due credit. On the Spider-Man game on the PS4, we requested that. We received a no, we can't provide it to you. We don't have enough copies. Although, they're bragging about how many they're selling at retail, so that's a lie. Right, so they're, they're still part of the corruption, but at least they had the fortitude, the strength to give a response. So some of the other companies like Nintendo, Microsoft recently, absolutely no response. They're too cowardly to reply, or like we like to joke, they're not trained in how to use the reply button in email. They're not trained in how to answer the phone. They're not trained in how to call a number to return a voice message. So that's kind of one of the jokes. Okay, so moving on. EA, I know for a long time there's been a lot of people complaining about EA. And quite honestly, yes, I agree with you. I agree with you, they're an alligator. Atlas USA, definitely agree with you that they're an alligator. Sega, I'm on the fence, okay? I know Sega bought the Atlas USA when they went bankrupt, and they picked them up. They brought them in-house. We're seeing how much of the corruption kind of penetrates or permeates Sega. Thus far, I'm on the fence. So I don't have an opinion, yay or nay. I've seen some good things from Sega. I've seen some bad things from Sega. So I'm just telling you, I don't know yet. I mean, if you can have your own opinion, you can leave a comment below about what you think about them. Let's see, other companies, Namco Bandai or Bandai Namco. I'm leaning towards Alligator in the Swamp, but I'm not 100% there yet. Seen stuff from them recently. They used to be really great years ago. Recently, they've deteriorated. So I'm going towards Alligator in the Swamp, but I'm not quite there yet. Probably say like 70% there. Super Rare Games, and this one I'm really sad about personally, because they make physical copy games, and we have been a big supporter of physical copy movement. In fact, a lot of people credit us as being the originators of the physical copy movement in the video game media. We're one of the biggest, if not the biggest, media outlet who is promoting the physical copy movement. So, to me, it's sad that they're in this. But I have to just barely agree with you that they're a little teeny tiny alligator just out of the egg, just a little tiny alligator. My hope is that maybe they'll get cleaned up in the future. We'll find out. Let's see, what other companies can we discuss? 2K. All right, so 2K, I would say, yeah, I put them in the alligator category. Not super strong as some other companies, but they're definitely in there. Who else? Who else can we discuss? What other companies are there? I'm drawing a blank now. There's a lot of smaller companies. Ones like Telltale Games, who just recently fired all their employees and looks like they're going under. I would say that they were definitely an alligator. A lot of the things they did, how they acted and everything, and how the company's falling apart is even more evidence of that. A lot of the indie ones, I would say no. I don't see many indie companies in that category. And that's really all the companies I can think of and I had kind of mentally prepared. If you have another company and you have an opinion, or if you disagree about these companies being alligator and swamp, remember this is just my personal opinion. It's just an opinion, that's all it is, Please leave a comment below. I would like to thank everyone for watching. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.